is your single biggest storyline from the weekend?
I think the answer is Oregon. You go down, Coach Altman has struggled to get those guys to play together early in the season. He goes down and collects 2 wins in Los Angeles against 2 very good teams. And guys, we've kind of been waiting to see what's going to happen because it was kind of a weird mixture of guys. Like Jacob Young's kind of a wildcat. De'Vion Harmon, he is what he is. But Will Richardson's finally come alive. And this Oregon team, they have a lot of talent. And sometimes it takes some time to get used to your new players. And whenever you're transfer heavy like Oregon is, sometimes, especially really successful transfers that were either the first or second option on their team, you got to find ways for the guys to fit together. Got to find ways the guys to fit together. He's starting to do that. And for them to get those 2 big wins, Will Richardson has been good at the beginning. So far this year, he's been their leading scorer. He's been really good. Had 28 against Southern Cal.
He was unbelievable this weekend. I'm gonna throw a stat at you, T.O. You ready for this?
I'm ready for it.
I think you know the stat already, and you can hear my daughter melting down in the background. It's a holiday here. We have kids at home these days, and I guess mine are just not as well behaved as T.O.'s at this point. But Will Richardson,
mine are barricaded. Hold on. Mine are barricaded. I have 2 doors to get to my office. So you have one door out here, and it's a soundproof door. And then I have I don't know why I was there. It was there when we bought the house. And then I have another door to my office. It's also closed. So
I don't want to know what was going on in that office before you got there. If it's a soundproof barricaded door.
Me neither. But here I
am. Here's the stat. So Will Richardson has scored in single digits in 5 games this season. Oregon is 1-4 in those games. The one game that they won was against Chaminade in the Las Vegas, whatever the Maui Invitational that was held in Las Vegas. When he scores in double figures, they've only lost twice this season. I think it's 10-2 on the year. One of those losses was to Baylor at home when they actually played pretty well, and the other one came at Stanford by 3 points. So
but that was your super stat the other night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It's the 3rd time that I've rattled off this stat. It's a great stat.
It's a fantastic one. Take that one until use that one as long as
I'm going to keep using it. You know, it. But to your point, and fans, I'm curious your take on this. It's just when Oregon gets that backcourt going, it changes everything for them. At this point, John, where do you see Oregon kind of stand in the pantheon of Pac-12 teams? We know Arizona is really, really good. USC looks like they might be just a little bit. They've lost back-to-back games now. They lost to Stanford. They lost to Oregon.
UCLA is overvalued.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
USC and UCLA. You think they're both overvalued, Fenton?
I think both are overvalued right now.
I think when it's said and done, the Oregon Ducks are going to finish number 3 in the Pac-12. I still think UCLA will be number 2. It would not surprise me at all if Oregon hopped them, but it just took some time for Dana Altman to get this particular group going. Now, look, I don't see anybody really challenging Arizona. And I know you might say, well, look, the rankings would reflect differently. Arizona is the best team in the Pac-12. Yep. They are the best team in the Pac-12. If Kirk Kreese is playing under control, and that's a big if, but if that's happening, then this is a team that
don't hate on my guy Kirk Kreese. Come on.
No. Go ahead, Fanta. Do you don't let Dalton dissuade you from what you're saying? Make your point, sir.
Their overall length is fantastic, but here's the thing with Oregon: they are so hard to play against, and in your Richardson stat, it really does reflect it. That I thought that this last year was so exemplified with a different team when Iowa played Oregon and got absolutely run off the floor. Dana Altman is one of the best chess players in college basketball. He is great at taking your weakness and making it his strength. That's what he does for a living. And he does such a good job of just identifying that and exposing. And I thought that Oregon did a terrific job of that this weekend. They made both their opponents extremely uncomfortable. They made UCLA's defense uncomfortable. And Mick Cronin had to be having trouble sleeping this weekend because Mick Cronin's defenses never look uncomfortable. They've got great guard play, and it is a guards game, and it's coming around. Oregon may very well be a misseeded team on Selection Sunday.
Hold on. They're not.
They'll make the tournament.
They're definitely going to make the tournament. I don't have any doubt about that. They're not going to be misseeded. They're going to be better than what their seed is, but they got a quad 4 loss to Arizona State. They were beat.
No, Rob.
They were beat like Houston owed them money. They lost by 32 points to BYU. Gonzaga put up 180,000 points on BYU on Thursday.
Okay.
I watched that game. It was 180,000. Oregon scored 49. Like, look, they're better. They're hitting their stride, but they're not going to be underseeded. They're going to be properly seeded for a team that played like ass for the first 2 months of the season.
Okay, we disagree. So we disagree on this. When I say underseeded, I'm saying they're better than that seed.
Yeah,
they will be. But they're not
seeded correctly by the committee is not what a coach is looking at.
No, eye test. Big eye test.
No, so I'm with you. The committee's going to seed them where they seed them. But guess what? Somebody's stuck in a 7-10 game is going to be really pissed off.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to lose.
Imagine being the 2 seed that has to draw Oregon when they're hitting their stride as a 10 seed in the NCAA tournament. It's going to
Bingo.
suck.
That's what I'm saying. Once upon a time in 2016, Gonzaga was an 11 seed. And I'm sitting there, I'm covering Seton Hall very closely. I'm a student. It's Selection Sunday. Seton Hall's in their first NCAA tournament in years. They're the 6th seed in Utah, playing at 10 o'clock at night against 11-seeded Gonzaga. The game was over before it started, and you got the 6th. It's the worst 6th seed I've ever seen in my life. So somebody's going to get a good seed or maybe a better seed than Oregon, and it ain't going to matter.
Mm-hmm.
Or this Oregon team could be the one that crashes the party and makes the Sweet 16 when we really like a 2 seed. We're going to be sitting there saying that is one scary matchup. So that's what I mean when I say seeded properly by committee. But in the eyes of us, coaches and players, we're going to say, damn, that number next to them, it does not reflect who they actually are.